Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
You are able to hear me, right?
Yeah.
Am you there?
No, he is not there.
Is this support?
Yeah, support is like we are also not on the online.
We will wait for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, we will have the backup class.
Okay.
If you install Windows version, no, right?
Windows version. Go to meet.
This one, go to meeting.
Okay.
No, for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even you did not install the web version, Windows version, right?
What?
Go to meeting Windows version.
Oh no, I don't have it.
Can you both do that? When you go to meeting.com, you can see the
Okay.
you can download the software and you can install it.
Okay.
Okay, so in yesterday's class, what we are discussing about
Our classes and interfaces.
abstract class and interface, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have any questions on that?
No, but can you just like go over the points again? Like you said, the interview question or something. What are the differences between the interfaces and the abstract class?
So you got any points or have you did any R&D or you're asking me to repeat the differences?
Yeah, I'm asking her.
Okay, so abstract class is a class which will contain at least an abstract method. Interface, we will have all abstract methods. In interface, we will have all abstract methods. You see, this is the interface. So it has all abstract methods. And this is abstract class. Where is our abstract class? Yeah, this is our abstract class and it has abstract methods as well as concrete methods. Okay. You cannot create object of abstract class as well as you cannot create object of interface. So for both abstract class and interfaces, you will have a child class. So it's child class responsibility to define all the abstract members. In case of abstract class, the child class can avoid implementing the abstract method. In that case, again, it will become a abstract class like Barclay account. But in case of interfaces, there is no escape. It has to provide all the definition for all the abstract methods. If you can't provide definition for abstract methods for the interface, it will give the compile time error. You cannot execute the program. Even though if you make it as abstract, it will not work. So these are the differences. Got it? You got?
Oh, yeah.
So how many maximum number of objects I can create for abstract class? Maximum number of objects I can create for abstract class. I need the count. How many objects I can create?
For which class?
Abstract class.
You can't create any unless you make it apparent, right?
For abstract class, I cannot create any. I cannot create any object. And for interface also, I cannot create any object. Okay. This is about abstract class and interfaces. So then we move on to the next topic. Static and non-static. We have a concept of static and non-static. So what is static? What is non-static? So for this class, okay, for this int width, int height, for this speed and secret code, when memory will be allocated? When memory will be allocated for these members? When you are creating an object.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. See, you created object, then memory will be allocated for these members. Then only you can call the methods. Before creating object, you cannot call the members. Creating object and then memory will be allocated for the members. Then you are able to call the methods. So these are called instance members or non-static members. These are called instance members or non-static members. Got it? See, for the height, width, and for the speed secret code, memory will be allocated when you create object of this class. So those are called instance members or non-static members. But the opposite to instance members or non-static members are static members. So you can declare members with a static keyword. So when you create or when you declare members with static keywords, so the memory will be allocated when you are defining it. Okay. So here I will show the code. See, here I have one class. First I will take this class. This is a class, public class. My static example is the class name. Okay. and it has one static member. Y is a static, public static int y. Okay, public static void m2 is a static method, and if you see public int x is a non-static member, public void m1 is a non-static. Just can you hold on a moment?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the non-static members and these are static members. Okay. So we'll see.
Okay.
So in order to access these members, what you have to do, you have to create object. How you will access these members? X and M1. You have to create object, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here I will create object. My static example obj equal to new my static example. If you say obj dot, but you can see only M1 and X, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obj, you can see only M1 and X. You can see only M1 and X. What about Y and M2? Y and M2 are prefixed with static keyword. So to access these Y and M2, you can access like this. My static example dot. You can access M2 and Y. Then simple, when you create a variable or when you create a method with static keyword, you can access that static member with a class name itself. You don't need to create any object, because for these X and M1, memory will be created when you create object like this. But for this Y and M2, memory will be created when you are creating the class itself. You got it, or do you want me to repeat it?
I got it.
So now tell me, for which memory will be allocated first? For static members or non-static?
It's static, right?
Static members. When you are creating the class itself, memory will be allocated for static members. Okay. So we'll see this obj dot y x equal to 100. Okay. Obj dot m1, you can call like this. Okay. This you can call y equal to some 20 I static dot m2. Okay. It's calling m1, it's calling m2. So for which memory will be allocated first? Static members or non-static members? For static
The static one.
memory will be allocated first. So let us assume for this memory will be allocated first. this memory will be allocated next. Suppose we are creating class at 10 o'clock. Okay, you are creating object at 11 o'clock, right? Now tell me, can I access X in M1, M2, or can I
Yes.
call M1 here in M2?
No,
Why?
because one's static and one's non-static.
Because see, for this memory will be allocated at 10 o'clock. For this
Okay.
memory will be allocated at 11 o'clock. By the time when you are allocating memory, suppose if you are using X like this, okay, you will try to read the value, but at 10 o'clock, this X will never exist. X doesn't have any life. At 11 o'clock, when you are creating object, then only these X and M1 will be initialized and memory will be allocated. So you cannot call X like this. But can I
Okay.
use Y in M1?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, we can.
Because when you are trying to allocate memory for M1, it, it, it's a damn sure thing that always memory will be allocated for Y first than M1. You can call M2 also. So here the statement is you cannot call non-static, you cannot use non-static members in static members. But vice versa you can do. You can use static members in non-static. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So this is about static and non-static. Do you have any questions?
No, I think I understand.
What about tomorrow? Tomorrow at what time? Can we have class tomorrow or what's your plans?
Yeah, I can do tomorrow, but I can't do Sunday.
Okay, what about you?
Yeah. Yeah, I can also have tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. Until
Tomorrow
like 9.
at the same time or do you want?
Yeah, the same time. Same time.
Yeah, same time works.
Do you have holiday on? Yeah, you have holiday on Monday also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we'll move on to the next topic, which is sealed class. Sealed class.
The static and non-static depends only on the time.
No, just for our understanding,
Okay.
I gave
Okay. Okay.
for our understanding, I gave 10 o'clock and 11
Okay.
o'clock.
Okay.
So there won't be time. So when you create class, static for static members, memory will be allocated. When you
Okay.
create object, memory will be allocated for non-static. So it will be always through that memory will be allocated for static members only. Okay. So even we can have a static classes also. So here I have a complete static class. So this static class, public static class. The class itself is static.
Static.
The class is non-static. So in static, can I have non-static members? No.
No.
Also, I cannot create object for my static class, I guess. Obj equal to cannot create an instance of the static class because when you create object, what it will try to do? It will try to allocate memory for non-static members. But your class doesn't have any non-static members. The class itself is a static. So you cannot create object for static also. Then how can you access this x and m1? The class name itself.
Okay.
But be careful with these static members because those will be behaving like a global variables. Those will be behaving like a global variables. See, in this case, you created object of 4, right? So you assigned
Yeah.
height value 90 and here you assigned height value 90. So these two will conflict? No, because the memory will be allocated separately for this object and the memory will be allocated
And this
separately
one.
for this object. There won't be any conflict. You can assign any value and you can read the same value. Here whatever you are
Okay.
value assigning, the same you will read it. But in case of statics are like a global variables. So once you are assigning some value and changing, that means it will be reflected globally.
Okay.
So be careful while you declare the static members. So then field class. There is a concept of field class. Uh, what is abstract class? What is the purpose of abstract class? Abstract class is meant for inheritance. Someone should help abstract class by inheriting it. Abstract class is an incomplete class. So you will derive it and you will provide the completeness by providing the abstract and the abstract method. Okay. So here sealed is completely different, completely opposite to abstract. So sealed class is a kind of final class. Sealed, what is sealed? It's closed. Okay. So if you see public sealed class, my complete class, the sealed class will have it will be the same as normal class, only the word sealed is added. So now here in my sealed child, what I am trying to do, I am trying to make my complete class as a parent one. It will not allow my child cannot derive from selected type because sealed classes are the final classes. These sealed classes cannot contain any child.
Okay.
So you can ask me in real time when you will go for abstract classes, when you will go for sealed classes. Suppose abstract classes are like that, they will define their own functionality and few parts they will leave it for like next generations or the next users. Field class is a kind of that functionality closed. You cannot extend that functionality. There is no scope for extension. Generally, inheritance is the concept for like extending the functionality. By using inheritance, you are achieving extending the existing functionality. Okay. So when you declared a class as sealed, that means it's a complete class. You cannot derive it from the field class. So field classes does not contain any tails. Those are the final classes. Can I create object of my sealed class? Absolutely, you can create it. Dot and X. Okay. So with this, we almost completed object-oriented concepts. Okay. So this is about. There is one more thing. Namespace. Okay. What is namespace? Do you heard about packages?
No.
Okay. So namespace is a container which will contain classes as well as namespaces. So it's a kind of grouping the classes. So when you are in your college, so there are different groups, right?
Yeah.
When you are in college, you will have the mechanical group, you will have the computer groups, you will have electronics group. Okay, you will have a seniors like first years, second years, third years, fourth years. So why we need this grouping concept? First of all, when you have the concept of group, you can manage the members easily. You can manage, you can communicate, and you can provide access at the group level. The mechanical students have, computer students does not have access to mechanical labs. Mechanical students does not have access to like, chemistry labs. If we don't have the concept of groups, what we have to do, we have to mention that all the names. Suppose in mechanical group, if you have 1,000 members, you have to mention all the 1,000 members. Instead of that, in notice board I will put a notice saying that no mechanical student should enter chemistry lab. That's it. So in a similar way, grouping of classes is very much important and it's a convenient way to manage your classes. Okay. So this is the grouping of classes. So namespace can have it's a container which will contain namespaces as well as classes. See, I have a first year's group. Okay. In that first year's group also again I can have the separate groups, right? In that first years I have all female group, all male group, or all non-local groups. So a group again contain further groups. So say namespace also same kind. Namespace contain classes as well as other namespaces. So then we have a concept of public, private, protected, internal. So in object-oriented programming, we will talk in terms of classes. If you want some functionality, you will declare a class. That class will be grouped into namespace. But you will always think in a perspective of classes and object. So all these four are called access specifiers or access modifiers. So when you declare a member in the class with private keyword, you can access only within the class. You cannot access the private variables outside the class. That's why, see, in the car class, I declared int height, int width, and this secret code as a private. You cannot access these private members outside the class, even though if you create an object also. Okay. Then public means everyone can access. If you declare a class with public keyword, there is no limitation for that. Everyone can access it. Okay. Then protected. So protected means if you declare a variable or a method with a protected means that can be accessed to only child classes. You declared one method in car as a protected. So that can be accessed to only child classes. Even though if you create object also, you cannot access that. Internal means only within the namespace you can access it. We'll see that. With the simple car example only will go. Okay. So this by default C sharp, if you don't specify any public access specifier, by default it will take private. Okay. Now this car has three private members: secret code, height, and width. Okay. Now I'll create object. When I create object, I can access only the speed method because this is the public member. I cannot access the other members. Okay. So we have seen public and private. Now protected. So protected means only for child, right? So I will make this as a protected. Then this can be accessed only in the child. So who is the child for this? Public car racer is the child, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cannot access secret code here. It's a obj code dot secret code. It's not there, but I can access this in the child because it's a protected one, and this is a child one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can access secret code. Create object of child here. Obj equal to name thoughts? Yeah, secret code. You can access directly, even without creating object. Because protected, it's a secret code is a protected member. So that protected member can be accessible to the childs only. Okay. If I make this internal, cannot access this in the other namespaces. The restriction is for only within the namespace. If I have other namespace here, I cannot access the internal members. Okay, these are the access specifiers. The accessibility of the variable has been defined by using this four access specifiers and access modifiers. Here, hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really, this object-oriented programming is a very boring subject. But if you get the concepts, um, object-oriented programming is a bit boring subject. But if you get the concept, you will get many interesting things in this object-oriented programming. So anyway, we are closing this OOPS concepts by today. So from tomorrow onwards, we will see database connectivity and how to connect to database. So we have some interesting things. But don't neglect this object-oriented programming. If you want, I can dedicate any of the weekend, not now, maybe next to next week. Again, we can revisit this object-oriented programming and you can discuss your questions and queries.
Okay.
Okay. So please go through these videos and do let me know if you have any. Just write down the issues, whatever you see, and we can discuss it. Okay.
Okay.
So when you are coming tomorrow, just try to brush up on ASP.NET, whatever we discussed. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll continue on ASP.NET and ADO.NET, which is database.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll have session at tomorrow at same time.
Yeah.
Okay. In case if we don't have the session, then I will intimate them. But 99% will have the session.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So Naresh, we'll have
Yeah.
your backup session tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, so as you have some work today, so anyway we have 15 to 20 minutes left. Cannot do much.
Like
Okay.
to tomorrow also I can do until up to 10 o'clock only.
Okay, no problem. Anyway, we are closing this object-oriented programming.
Okay. Okay.
Tomorrow onwards, we are having ASP.NET. So
Yeah. Okay. Like you have anything like the syntaxes, like particularly for a sealed class, how syntax will be there, like in notes.
yeah, we have the material. I will share the material.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Because like some syntaxes in video, sometimes it is no, hard to see.
Otherwise, I will share this file with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
File I will share it with you.
Can you share it with me too?
Yeah, sure. For you both, Naresh and Fahim, I will share it with
Okay.
you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, then thanks for your time. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.